Hello and welcome to the Blue Monday podcast. This is a thrice weekly show looking into the exciting happenings of Ipswich Town Football Club, available on video and podcast. My name is Benjamin Bloom and we'll be here each and every Monday for this, the flagship show for a sometimes irreverent but always informative hour or more of football conversation. So make your Monday a Blue Monday. It's the partnership, the partnership the people wanted back. Some would say we're playing two big men up front here. Are they too similar to play together? Dave, who are you going to be?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'll play off Harry. Harry can play up front. I'd like to sort of play off him, just a little bit off him, because I'm quite two-footed. I told you I'd get it in.
Yeah.
So I see Harry, but Harry I see as a big man up front, just with a velvet touch.
Yeah.
Battering ram. No, it's the format. I see it. It's Batistuta, Baiano, and Gandalf. That's the threesome I'm going for here.
Someone tweeted me, Harry, when we got you on the pod, and said that you were like our Marcus Stewart. If I was George Burley, you were the last piece of the jigsaw, which would make you Matt Holland, Dave. You were there first.
I'd take that. I'd take that. Although a bit one-footed, but I'll take that.
Unbelievable. David Diamond has opened the podcast by criticising Matt Holland.
No, stop it. No, I didn't. That was a joke. Yeah, obviously.
Unbelievable. That would be the one way. If this was wrestling, that would be the one way to get booed. That would.
Yeah.
Have a pot at Matt Holland. Are you okay, gentlemen? Anyway, we all good?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah. Had a nice day yesterday. Nice to meet up with yourself, Ben, and Tim and James. Wasn't it Tim and James in the?
Yeah, some people snubbed lunch, didn't they, Dave?
Some people did. Some people did. However, I was able to catch up with Harry. I did finally catch up with Harry in the ground.
You were avoiding me yesterday, Harry, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it's just I'm elitist. When you're from Bath, you become elitist.
Actually, you had a clutch when you were talking to me, Harry. So I should have mentioned this. You were carrying a clutch of papers, like a program and some notes and stuff like that. But you also looked like you were clutching a meat pie as well, were you? There was definitely a pastry. There was a pastry.
No, it was a chicken balti pie. Yes, it was. Very tasty. Yes, indeed. It was. There's a long story which I will not bore the listeners with.
Well, good day yesterday.
Someone who we have on good authority that can tell many good long stories is Jimmy Walker, who has joined Ipswich as goalkeeping coach, Harry, from Sunderland. Walker is 45 years old, played over 450 games in goal for Walsall. Is this going to sort Bart out?
It's got to, I think.
You had to go at Matt Holland, so leave me alone.
That's far worse than my go at Matt Holland. Mine was just a veiled, wasn't even a go. That was assassination.
Sorry.
Bart needs a coach. To me, he's an out and out confidence player. I think this new coach looks absolute business. I think he's got a good working relationship with Lambert. He'll sink in with the rest of the coaching team. So I'm hoping and praying. I really believe Bart. He is our best keeper. I always felt he was in that little run we had with Dino that Bart had an extra element to his play. But I just feel he is such a confidence-based player, and if you can get him in the right zone, he's utterly outstanding.
I totally agree, and I think you can't underestimate the relationship we had with Malcolm Webster.
Yeah,
I really do. And I think if he can get half, if he can get that back with Walker, then I agree. I think you'll see him back to his best, really.
Is it fair to say? Am I wrong on this? Webster simply wasn't replaced.
Well, he was, but sort of half-assed, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Was someone not? I think we obviously had other goalkeeper coaches in there, and I think someone was, from what I understand, promoted from within. Yeah. I think.
That is a clanger if that's the case. That's an absolute oversight.
Yeah, I'm not sure Hurst bought. I mean, he bought a multitude of coaches with him. I'm not sure he bought a goalkeeper coach with him. I really don't. Which isn't great if he didn't. But look, that's gone now, hasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Move on.
And another bit of a Jimmy Walker tenuous link. I think he played against us for West Ham in one of the playoff semi-final, didn't he?
I would have thought, Dave, he would have been in goal for Walsall when David Johnson scored the goal that Thorpe got us
Yes,
promoted,
that thought
which he
we were
brought up,
promoted.
Dave, in our excellent interview with David Johnson, which you can find elsewhere on the channel. Jono sat down for 2 hours, Dave, and some metrics are invisible. People just see the views on YouTube, but I see the watch minutes. And that video, people have been watching all 2 hours of that video. That's incredibly high on our watch minutes. So he was obviously a very engaging fella.
He is.
Dave, George Burley, John Walk and Terry Butcher were formally invited by new boss Paul Lambert to visit the training ground this past Wednesday. Harry, we've heard your thoughts on this on the preview show, but Dave, can you just, why did he do this and what are the benefits?
I think it's just a fantastic bit of PR, really, to get, if he didn't have everybody on side and people were slightly wavering with regard to the Norwich connection and one thing and another, I just think it's brilliant PR. And also, if he wanted to, learn more about the fabric of the club and the history of the club, what more, who better than those three, really? I don't think you could. Well, perhaps you've got Mick Mills along as well, but I think it's just a great bit of PR, really.
What are you saying, Harry?
No, I totally agree. I think it's a bit beyond that. I think what I said in the previous show was the fact that those three were prepared to come to the club and meet Lambert there. It kind of mirrored back in a way, and it was a vote of confidence from them in what Lambert's trying to achieve. Very early days, but yeah.
Yeah, it's also, sorry, Harry, what was interesting, I think Burley came out in his interview up at Playford Road and basically said, it's the first time I've ever been invited back by a manager since I left the club 16 years ago.
Yeah. Interesting.
Very
interesting. Very good. Harry, Andy Warren reported that there are 5 Ipswich Town youth players, including Jack Lancaster, living in an annex on Luke Chambers' house. Is this normal? And how much rent do they pay?
Wow.
I love Luke Chambers. I love that man so much. I really do. He's an absolute warrior. He cares so much for the club. Talk about leadership. God knows, I don't know what the domestic specific arrangements are going to be like there, but I just think the fact that he's prepared to take people in like that and take them under his wing. I'm assuming that's what it's to do with. He's kind of keeping a paternal eye on them. I just think he may not be at the level of some of the players back in the glory days of the Robson or whatever, but he is as fundamental to this club now as Burley was 20 years ago. He is absolutely fundamental to us at the moment. There we go. That's my view.
Agreed. I think, and what's interesting about that is, as far as I was aware, Lancaster's quite a local lad. I mean, I think he's Bury St Edmunds or something like that. He's very Lancaster's local. He's not from away. I mean, which I find that quite interesting. But yeah, and for the first time, obviously my first away game this season yesterday, and I don't sit in the Sir Bobby, but first time I've ever heard a Luke Chambers chant.
Yeah, that is quite standard at the away games.
Millwall last year, we bellowed it out. We absolutely bellowed it out. Yeah.
Carl Fuller, the excellent columnist. Which one does he write for? Is it the East Anglian?
Yeah. Full of flavour.
So Carl, so at Full of Flavour on Twitter, Carl came up with an idea for the West Brom game that he was going to buy a family some tickets on the reduced price. So it only costs for a family of 4 to go £30 on the reduced prices. Now, as soon as he did this, lots of other people, including our excellent organisation here, also said, "Okay, that sounds great. We'll do the same." So this is absolutely brilliant, and I'm not in any way involved in this, but I trust Carl implicitly. So the tickets are going to go to children, school guys, some to charity as well. The idea is that if anyone can go to that game, like when my dad took me to see Steve Bull playing for Wolves against Ipswich for my first game, and I'm like, Daddy, the guy, the England striker. If we can get one kid to go and have any emotion like I had that day, then this is great. So at Full of Flavour on Twitter, and I think if you follow Carl and DM him, you can get involved too. And so we've done something, a little donation from the podcast, but great idea that, Dave.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, superb. Yeah, can only be positive, that one. I'm sure at some point on Twitter there'll be some negative. Someone will find something to dig him out negatively, but I can't see anything negative at all. Brilliant, yeah.
But hopefully, Harry, the club might get hold of this, and this can become a bit of a regular thing.
It's a free hit for them in a way. I totally agree. Yeah, it's an absolute free hit. I mean, the crowd, anything we can do with the game on television, an evening game, Friday night. It's why not? Make it as easy for anybody to rock up as possible. We play well. We put on a bright performance. Give West Brom an absolute scare. And they come away enjoying it.
And then they bring Dwight Gale on. Sorry.
Unfortunate return to form yesterday, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah. There you go. Dave, have you got your new diary yet for the new year? You're a businessman, and have you filled in what you're doing on February the 16th?
February the 16th. Of course, a bit far ahead. Oh yeah, February the 16th. Yes, I have been.
Where are you going to be, Dave?
I'm going to be at the Curve Bar, I think, in the evening. Certainly. Well,
talking
probably
some
in
football.
the afternoon. I'll be at Portman Road in the afternoon, at the Curve Bar in the evening, I believe.
So we're talking some football with David Diamond, Harry, Renegades.
I'm there as well. Actually, I've just checked my diary. Yeah, I'm in on that one. It's bloody hell! I didn't realise. There's a coincidence.
Ipswich is going to be there. Mikey's going to be there. The whole team's going to be there. Blue Monday live, first live show.
You left Stat out.
No, didn't. Said him already.
Oh, sorry, missed it. Sorry,
you're not listening. You may have 2 feet, but your ears aren't working, are they, Dave? Brutal. Look out for that, eventbrite.co.uk. It's the pinned tweet on the Blue Monday Twitter. Tickets are selling well. We sold about a third of the tickets already, which is fantastic. And there's obviously still a few months to go. Be a good Christmas present, that, Dave, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would be. Yeah, I'm trying to think who I could give it to. But yeah, no, it would be a great Christmas present. Yeah, great gift. Lovely gift.
Lovely gift.
Yeah. Great stocking filler. Totally. Yeah.
Absolutely. Shall we go to Royal Berkshire, gentlemen? To Harry's favourite stadium in the whole of England. Dave's favourite away trip ever. We're going to Reading, where it was 22nd versus 24th. And if you listen to the excellent preview show by Harry and Rich, which does age well, actually. I think we do get a little spike of listeners after the game's happened. I think people go and listen back to what you've said after the game. So, yeah, you can still check that out. So, here's your Reading team, guys. So, Yakola in goal, Yeardham, Blackett, Moore, O'Shea, the back four. 3 fairly tight in midfield. Rinomhota, Kelly and Bakuna. Barrow off to the right. Maite, oh my goodness, down the middle. And Baldock, as we were told by Harry and Rich, would play down the side, not down the middle. Here comes your Ipswich team, Dave, and it's completely unchanged. Bialkowski, Spence, Chambers, Pennington. Actually, Dave, can you give us a Spence? We haven't had one for a while.
Spence.
Skews, I'm going to call him in the deep line playmaker role, which we'll discuss later. Chalobah and Downs a bit ahead of him, running around lots. Edwards down the right, Sears down the left, and Jordan Roberts up front. The game starts, the rain starts pouring, and I get my first look at this mentalist in the in the technical box going absolutely crazy. There was a lovely posh Berkshire woman next to me. God blimey, he's going to have a heart attack, that manager. Goodness me. But who's doing the first goal, guys? Is it you, Harry?
I got this one, yeah.
You got the first goal. So immediately, this ridiculous, chaotic start. And I'm all for it. It's pouring down with rain. Reading aren't confident, and we get a throw in. Away you go, Harry.
Yeah. Corporal Jones, they don't like it up them. They didn't see it coming. They really didn't. There was a great line in. I went on the Reading forum to have a look and see what they say. And they said that they. Where's it got to? He said, I don't know how Ipswich play normally, but if that's the usual first 11, either our scouts or Clement dropped a massive clanger, or Paul Lambert. Basically, I can't use the language even on here. It was really awful. But he said tactically completely mugged Clement was my bowdlerising of it. I toned it down. Basically, we just went for the throats from the beginning, and the throw-in goes into the 6-yard box, so just into the mixer. Let's just get stuck in. Let's give Yakola a little bit of a reception committee. And it was headed out sort of half-heartedly, and this was interesting, because this is by Yadom. I think he heads it out. But interestingly, Edwards reacts quicker than Barrow. Now, Barrow is turning into Sonny Aluko. He's going down that really dark vortex of bad wingerdom. Because he reacted a bit. Yeah, he did. He really was. He was so sloppy. He was so careless. He could have got sent off
Spongy.
later. But he runs. So Edwards reacts 2 seconds quicker than Barrow, who was kind of admiring the rain or something. I don't know what he was doing. Anyway, so Edwards comes in and he laces one. Now, Jaakkola could have saved it, but there were 4 Reading players in between him and Edwards. But get the shot on target. We've been saying this for weeks. Just stick it on target. At least it gives you a chance. It's a free hit, and lo and behold, he spills it into the net. Bang, 1-0. Scenes.
He's nailed it.
It was a good hit. It was a really good hit, wasn't it? And I think he good technique because he kept it down and. It dipped right on to be fair to the keeper, there are 4 players in between him and the ball, and it dipped right on him, didn't he? That nasty one just bounced as it got to him. And, struck with enough power. He got reasonable hand on it, but, had enough power to get in the corner of the net. Yeah, good strike. Great start.
But, Dave, immediately, Reading are going to come into our half for literally the only time, or one of about 3 times in this 45 minutes. And Dave, I think you have to praise this one.
Yeah, it's terrible. Well, I say that I've seen it back. It is bad. I mean, I think Moore gets the ball on the sort of left-hand side, puts it on his right foot, drills a ball sort of like Venus playoff. There you go, Venus playoff semi-final. So drills a ball basically over Spence's shoulder, which is fine. I don't think Spence's particularly badly positioned there to Baldock. Wide left. Wide left. And Spencer's in a pretty good position, in reasonable control of the position. And then he just gets very, very lax. I mean, I think he's trying very hard not to concede a corner. To be fair to Baldock, if I am seeing it back, I thought he just dug it out. But he clips it on the half volley. It's a good bit of skill, actually. Should never be able to get that ball in. Spence's first thought is trying not to concede a corner there, and he's a bit lax. But once it gets in the middle, it's a great finish. It is a great finish. I suppose Mite sort of peels off Pennington slightly, but I don't think you can fault Pennington. And he just hooks it in from behind him, really. And again, Bart's near post, but could you be expecting it? He absolutely middles it, doesn't he? I don't think there's any blame there attached to Bart either. Any blame on the goal for me is Spence. He's far too casual. Like I said, too busy thinking not to concede a corner. And and a good bit of skill from Baldock, and even better bit of skill from Mate.
Dave, can I use my Kevin Beattie against Scotland metric? When Baldock's got it right on that line, literally those 2 things, that's the only way they could have scored from that. If he crosses it there and Maite somehow does that finish in that position.
He shouldn't get the crossing, but it's a great cross on the run. It's a good bit of skill. I say he half volleys it, and it's just a great finish from the forward. It's a great finish.
So incredible start, and Ipswich are feeling a little bit kind of downtrodden that they've done this, really assertive, aggressive beginning to the game. They've got in front. And then Reading literally, like you say, ball in the channel, whack, overhead kick, goal. But great character because they picked it right back up. Dave, do you want to do this one? Mr. Białkowski has the ball.
I mean, if you think Spencer's defending for that goal was a bit suspect. I mean, Jesus, the defending for this goal is Sunday morning. It's Sunday morning.
But Dave, they're terrified of the orange shirts pressing them, though. This is why.
No, absolutely right. But it's not a particularly great goal kick. He just kicks it straight. I mean, just kicks it straight down. First of all, I think Roberts challenges with O'Shea. Doesn't get anything on it. Doesn't get anything on it. Runs through to Sears, who again yesterday great energy. Again showed great energy. Thought he had another good game. And I think. He doesn't get anything on it, but he tries to touch it as Moore's coming across. He tries to
touch it, Dave. I thought he got a little toe in. No.
No. This is a Bart assist. This is route 1. Doesn't get a toe on it. I looked back this morning. Doesn't get a toe, which I think then unbalances Moore.
Oh, I see.
Again, unbalances Moore, and he's through on goal. And consummate. I mean, he shouldn't miss. I know. Okay, he's not the most brilliant, but he shouldn't miss. But what you say, great straight in on Jaakkola, confident finish, side foot, bang, 2-1. It is a defensive howler. And afterwards, going home, we had Radio Berkshire on until we lost the signal, and Clement was incandescent with rage about that one. I mean, you would be. You won't see much worse defender than that.
Just quickly, Dave, would you say the weather yesterday was inclement?
Definitely, and I think yeah, I think the weather probably played a part in that goal with the ball just sort of skidding and
Can I
getting
just
away.
say one thing on this though, guys? One of my favourite, probably my favourite player growing up was Ian Wright, and I quote him a lot on this. He was taught when you go through, you go cold, and I never really knew what he meant. But Sears does this yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So Sears is pressing, sprinting.
He did.
And as it goes through and he realises he's in, there's a complete change in his body language.
Yeah,
he actually went cold, waited, and he was never missing that. It was a really good finish in the end, I think.
The key there, he gets himself. I know it looks a straightforward finish, but his body shape's right. So he gets his body shape right, and he passes it in. It's a great,
I think that's what Ian Wright means by you go cold in that position. What Sears did. So, Harry, anything on those two goals? Really?
Small thing on that one. I was where I was sitting was right up over the corner flag for their equaliser, and exactly I thought, oh, is he going to hook it back and maybe get a corner? That's what you felt. That was as much as Bullock was going to do. It always got it back, and then bloody hell, it's in the net. But our second goal was brilliant. Small tactical thing I picked up on. I may be wrong on this. Roberts drops deep to take out Shea out of the picture. They didn't have any decent holding midfielders, which meant it was a one-on-one situation, which therefore then allowed Sears to come in to play more centrally to take advantage of it. I think there was method in that. I don't think it was wing. They weren't winging it. They planned that for Roberts to pull out because O'Shea is there. He's got no pace, we know, but he's also their one good player who's good in the air. So by doing that, taking him deep, it meant that he was out of the game, which that left Sears through in on the back two. Was because was Blackett was coming across or Yadam was coming across to cover with Moore, and then they got their angle Taywar. But it was brilliant. That was a small thing, but
you probably hit on something there because it was a really strange goal kick. You just don't see goal kicks going straight down the park, do you? I mean, also, although the Reading keeper perhaps should have done because he kept kicking it, hooking it in the touch, but you just don't see them going straight down the middle of the park. So you may well be onto something.
But Dave, we finally seem to have a manager who has addressed Bart's kicking, because there was a very, very deliberate thing yesterday where Bart had 7 options when he had a goal kick. So both the centre halves come short. The two fullbacks, who were both good in the air, went right forward and high. Skews gave him a straight ball short, and Roberts came into the position that Harry's talking about. They've addressed that this guy's not good at kicking and given him.
There was one example yesterday, and it wasn't long after we weren't sure it was within the first 15 minutes when, my God, he
played the short ball to Skews, didn't he? Oh God, yeah.
No, but I think he played a straight ball to Chambers. I think it was Chambers. It must have been Skews. Because Chambers. I mean, what I noticed yesterday, which you just said, just immediately Pennington and Chambers.
But Dave, this is good management where you address someone's weakness and you hide it. You give him a load of options to kick to, and I was really impressed by that. Right, look, this calms down a little bit. Barrow goes down for a yellow card. 22 long throw. Skews gets blocked out. Great little play by Downs. Crosses into Roberts on the near post. Actually dropped the shoulder, Dave, like you would say there, didn't he?
Great. Good save, actually, because a great header from Roberts. Really good save.
Glancing, diving header. Press is working beautifully. Fed out to Downs. He helps it on to Knudsen. And not as Knudsen goes, not a bad ball across at all, actually. Edwards can't quite get on the end of that as that one goes in. Downs corner from the left, Chambers heads over. And I've written down in my book, Ipswich dominant. It's absolutely, and we'll talk about this when we get to half time. I have not seen an Ipswich team that aggressive in attacking a game of football since, well, they did it once last year at home to Sunderland. That was it. But we're talking years. It's years. But I want to get you both when we get to half time on the significance of that half. Ball into the box for Reading. Maite, I wanted to mention this. He kind of wins the header, but that was the only other time Reading went near our goal in the whole half. Chambers, lovely ball out of defence. You'd have liked there, Dave. Helped on to Roberts. He drives into the box. Good hit with the left foot. Another good save. So look, we're at half time now. Let me just say my piece. I wasn't at the Preston game last week, and I was genuinely stunned at what I saw in the first half. Look, I know we're going to go and do the second half and say that that we didn't win and we ran out of steam and this, that, and the other. But I was absolutely aghast at how good Ipswich were. But Dave, they did things that they have not done for. It was like they were 3-0 down at the end of a playoff semi-final with 45 minutes to go, and just piled at them. And Dave, I thought it was a brilliant half, and they were very unlucky not to be 2 up.
I don't know if Harry was at the Preston game. They didn't. It was far better than Preston the week before. I mean, Christ, yesterday Cole Skew's first stuff looked like a young Lothar Matthäus. I think he was absolutely brilliant. Really good. That's lovely. And it was so great to see. So great to see. However, and the press was so good, so high. The fullbacks were getting on. That, as I said, the centre halves were splitting. However, I think ultimately we paid the price. I don't know. Yeah, ultimately we did, because we should have been more than a goal ahead. Maybe two or three goals ahead wouldn't have flattered us, would it? It would not have flattered us.
No. Do you know what it reminded me of, Dave? Do you remember when we were chasing Paul Jules Bradford? They used to start like that, and they would do teams in the first half an hour, especially at home. And it didn't matter if they ran out of steam, because they were already 2-0 up.
This is the key, though. This is the key. Yeah. We weren't, weren't we?
And I think that might be a theme.
We were very good. Reading were bloody awful. I mean, but I think a lot of that was down to us. Yeah. And I know, sorry, Harry will say his piece in a minute, but tactically for them something had to change, and it was quite a clever tactic, really, what he did at half time.
What I would say about Reading being bad, Dave, I think we need to quote Mike Tyson: everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face.
Oh, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
We punched them in the face. It was
I think we did.
so encouraging.
Yeah, I say punched them, we slapped them, I think. I wouldn't say it was a punch. It wasn't a KO. It wasn't a bellew. But, we slapped them. But, unfortunately, not quite enough.
Harry, talk to me about that first half, because there's been no cause for optimism this season. Even the Swansea win was just kind of Sears and Edwards being brilliant for 5 minutes in the first half.
Yeah.
And
the Swansea win was completely neurotic. It really was. It wasn't,
and it's been proved to be an outlier since as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, totally.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you. Talk to me about that first half.
No, it's interesting. It's just everything Dave said. Some games you kind of come away with a complicated analysis. You might say it's A, B, C, or D, but I think on this one, the narrative was really everybody saw it, both our side and the Reading fan side as well. I mean, one of their comments was, when a Reading fan, Ipswich were bigger, stronger, quicker, more direct, more confident. Best team I've seen this season, based on that first half.
Just quickly. Sorry, Harry. Just quickly.
No, go for it, Dave. Go for it, mate. Go for it.
My lad said that Bianca Westwood was the Sky summariser there, and she said first off, Ipswich actually destroyed them.
And she does Ipswich a lot. So that's not an ill-informed opinion
Ipswich
at all.
Absolutely destroyed them first off, but with the caveat, haven't landed the knockout blow.
The stupid thing, though, guys, is I think they got the 2 goals, and I think they were unlucky it was a real conspired to concede that 1 goal that they did.
Quick last one. Chatting to the chap the guy who went with the game. We were quick exchange at halftime. I said to him, Reading actually have more quality in the final third, and then he said but they couldn't get there. But that was always my sense with them, that front three they had, Mate, Barrow, and Baldock, exactly, and then you chuck on McCleary as well. You could suddenly see they actually had the weaponry, but because we were just overwhelming their midfield, and we were pressing them so ferociously that one of them talked about the fact, he said, Ipswich, at times we had 7 outfield players in our own half, meaning the front 3 were totally isolated. Bang, there you go, brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
One player who was isolated, who didn't have a nice time, was Rina Mata, who I'd like to see his stats, because he touched the ball about 3 times in the first half. But Dave, you're right. So McCleary comes in, he goes off to the right. Baldock sort of drops in behind Maite. I made it a 4-2-3-1 with Barrow on the left from up in the roof in Reading there. And it takes them about 10 minutes to kind of start to assert themselves on the game. Reading corner floated in. I still didn't think we looked good from from a few corners. Up in the air, not cleared. Point blank stop from Białkowski.
Tell you what, I don't know. Have you seen that back again? A definite handball from Knudsen in there.
Is there? No, I've not seen that, Dave. No.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Roberts does the hard run in. Nearly forces Yakola and O'Shea into a fatal error there. Reading force another corner. McCleary blazes this one over. And a bit of a key thing now. 58. Jackson in. Roberts out. Let's talk about that at the end. Where are we going? Bakuna shoots from the edge, trickles through to Białkowski. You can see the tide turning here. Sears beautiful ball over to Jackson. We'll talk about Jackson at the end, but he just doesn't know what to do with it, poor guy. Throwing for Spence down in the corner. I saw visions of him. You were both there last time, weren't you, where he scored from in the 4-0, but he's on his left foot this time. Spilly save. And now Clement really gambles. Swift in for O'Shea, and it's a 3-4-3, and he's really gone for it. I know the Reading fans criticise Mr. Clement. Sears into the box, falls over his feet, so I can do my Raheem Sterling joke there. Rowe in for Sears, McNulty in for Kelly, and who's doing this one? 83 minutes. Harry.
Go on, Harry.
Yeah, interesting. I've freeze framed this to piece together what actually happened, just to work out, because the anatomy of a goal. The first thing to say was, I think it originated from a set piece, which we were heading out. The pattern of the game had changed. Rather than trying to play the ball out, we were clearing it. And I think it might have been Chambers who headed the ball out to, I think it was to Bakuna. Now, interestingly, then you had Spence, Chambers, Pennington, Knudsen in a line, and in front of them, I was trying to work out the numbers, and I think I've got the two players right. It was Skuse and Edwards were sitting in front of them. But tellingly, you had McNulty sitting in front in Chambers' field of vision, and Skuse also drifts over to him. But also, crucially, McCleary on the right.
Yeah.
We talked about McCleary in the previous show. He loves chalk on his feet. He gives them width, and that was a problem for us. He was stretching us. And I think Edwards, if I'm not mistaken, drifted out that way. Knudsen also had McCleary in his sight, and therefore that created a little gap. Moore then stays upfield with Mate to act in American football style like the blocker. He's going to jump the ball.
The two best headers in the Reading team.
Yeah.
Well, actually, maybe apart from O'Shea, but...
And
sorry,
just before... And it was the worst scenario for us again, because Bakuna, if anyone's going to play a ball in from their midfield, it's going to be him. He's a bit like Daniel Johnson. If any of their midfielders can play a kind of a calibrated pass into the box, it's him.
And Kelly's off now as well, Harry.
Yeah, yes, exactly, of course. Yeah, he's gone. But McNulty as an extra striker also sitting in there. He's going to, the two guys, as I say, drifting out, Skuse and Edwards. Could one of them have gone back? You could see as Bakuna plays the ball, you could see Moore and Mate both waving, going, here, we're ready. And then in it comes. Knudsen is caught in two minds for a couple of seconds. Moore then blocks Pennington off, American football style. He jumps for the ball, no intention of getting it, leaving Mate, who's just behind him, with the free header. He heads it down with all that time and space, and Bart can't get to it. You see Knudsen afterwards putting his hands to the back of his head, thinking, was it my fault? Interesting to get everyone's views on it. I felt it wasn't. It was tiredness' fault. It was possibly Knudsen should have tucked in, but then the danger was that the ball would have gone out to McCleary and it would have come in that way. Or possibly could Skuse or Edwards have turned around and seen the danger. But these are the two players upfield. McNulty and McCleary were definitely in their field of vision. There you go. That's my
Dave. Who was Skuse shouting at?
I don't know. I didn't notice Skuse shouting as anything, but you nailed it. McCleary takes up a really clever position there, because as the ball comes out, he hugs the touchline. Knudsen is sort of in no man's land. He doesn't know whether to stick or twist, really.
Yeah.
His first, I was always taught. I played left wing back for a season or two, and I was sorry. Yeah, I did play on the right side as well.
Cutting inside.
He doesn't know. My take on that. My always take. Where is the immediate danger? Where is the immediate danger?
Yeah.
With immediate danger, when the ball's coming, he's not the man wide.
Can I quote Gary Neville, Dave? Gary Neville says, "I've never seen Space score a goal."
No, exactly.
Yeah.
So the immediate danger, he gets caught. He should be tucking round. If he tucks round, they don't score that. I'd rate if he tucks round, Knudsen is good enough in the air, even to jump in Mite, to be maybe not to win it, but to off-put him and give us a better chance of defending the goal. I think Pennington who I thought was again magnificent yesterday. I think he gets slightly caught under the ball. He's a little bit. It's a great ball. You're right, Harry. It's a great. It's not a straight ball. It's a kind of diagonal ball from Bakun. It's a lovely.
But he
ball.
does, Dave. He doesn't drift it. He picks it, doesn't he? Yeah.
He hangs. Yeah. And it's a clever header. And again, both goals, no attached, blame the bar there. He's right in the corner, but it's it's a good goal, but it's an unfortunate goal. Yeah, and can you blame Knudsen? Well, he's just caught there, isn't he? And you could tell by his reaction afterwards.
No. Interesting, great stuff, guys.
Yeah,
great stuff.
The immediate danger is.
No, agreed.
You're right, Dave. Spot on, Dave.
Yeah. Spence takes a yellow on Barrow. That's good battle, that actually. Spence played him quite well, actually.
I'll tell you what. After the first, if we're saying Spence did drop a bit of a haul it on the first goal, I thought Spence had a good game yesterday.
Yeah. And you've set this up really beautifully now for me, because the last 2 moments of the game are McCleary hanging out on the right-hand side. Now, the first chance for Baldock is difficult because it's on the half volley. I can forgive him that one. But the one on 92 minutes and 41 seconds, McCleary. It's a lovely ball by McNulty. And poor finish from.
To quote you earlier, Ben, he stays warm. He doesn't go cold.
Ian Wright. I wouldn't like to play that to Ian Wright and get his opinion.
He stays at least tepid, I would say.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Okay. So a lot to kind of unpack here. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of stuff in the questions about this, so we'll keep our powder dry a little. But Dave, can I just give you a couple of opinions on players, and then you can chime in? I thought everybody played well in the first half. Am I right, or am I an idiot in saying that Gwion Edwards, despite his goal,
Tell you what,
Dave, I think he likes. Sorry, I think he found it a bit chaotic, and he likes to stop with the ball and then go. And I think the game was a bit fast for him, and he had a couple of
two things. I agree with that. And his race was run. His race was run with 20 minutes to go. Because he got the ball in some quite decent positions, and he just didn't have it. He's nothing in his tank. So
I think he's going to need to learn the Lambert style.
Injury or he's got, who knows? Some of these players they call them viruses, don't know. He's a bit like under. I don't know, but yeah, his race was run with, I'd say, 20 minutes to go.
Interesting. Harry, without being unkind, is Caden Jackson? Is he bad?
He's a work in progress. I think that's what I call him. He's raw, exactly. He's a good athlete, and you could feel there was that particular moment we all saw in the second half when he broke into the box. To be fair, in the first half there would have been 3 town players breaking in for the cutback. There was only Freddie coming in, and instead of even just having a lash at the goal and maybe winning a corner, he cut the ball back. He basically played it tamely across the 6-yard box, and it was picked off by somebody. I felt it. We had a little WhatsApp. A couple of comments about this between ourselves. My sense, going back to Lambert, is that he likes a wrecking ball up front. So Roberts has been perfect, but he doesn't have a second wrecking ball to bring in when the first one's a bit worn out, as it were. Whereas initially, when Jackson came on, I was quite excited. I thought, that's exactly what I would have done, because Jackson had the pace. O'Shea is as slow as anything. It'll force them back deep. It'll give the midfield some space, but it didn't work out like that. And when I heard your brilliant, listen to it, everyone. I've been just witnessed report, Ben. You said it. You nailed it by talking about the fact that we no longer had somebody to hold the ball up the field. So instead of us forcing Reading back, they were suddenly forcing us back. We weren't able to control possession, and we lost some of our balance. Jackson, I would say he is what he is. He's an impact substitute learning championship football. Whether or not he's got it, I don't know. My sense was he lacked intelligence. He wasn't working his marker cleverly. He wasn't turning him inside and out, confusing him, getting him to lose his angles.
Yeah, I agree. What you should be doing, he should be taking O'Shea in positions where he doesn't want to go.
Yeah. Like he did Mark Wilson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I honestly think you'll find if he comes back fit, Harrison might be a better bet.
This will come up because
he might be a much better fit.
I think just 2 players to bring up from a pretty good Norwich team, actually. Grant Holt, there's a very specific set of instructions, but can Freddie Sears be Simeon Jackson, who really flourished under a wide forward, flourished under Lambert before, but
in a 2?
No, in a 3.
And sorry, 3, yeah.
Caden Jackson does not have the skill set to do a number 9 Paul Lambert what he wants.
Leads the line.
I'm not saying he's. Yeah, he's. I don't think.
There's a player there for sure, but he doesn't lead the line like And it's a shame, Roberts. Yeah, he was done on the hour last week, and he was done on the hour this week. But that's not his fault. He's had 2 hours. Well, 2 hours.
2 hours
first
of
team football. 2 and a bit. Two and a half hours maybe.
Well, he's got 2 weeks off now, Dave. Yeah. So should we try and nuke some of these questions, guys? Mm-hmm. So these are our wonderful Twitter listeners. Harry, this is at JCookUK. Hypothetical question: was the Swansea win almost counterproductive had Lambert been appointed during the last international break? Do you believe we would be in a better place now?
Brilliant question. This has come up on TWTD as well. I think it bought him a fatal couple of weeks, if I can put it like that. I think it was catastrophic, that Swansea win in hindsight. There was nothing about that win that indicated the emergence of a new identity to the team when you look at what we've just seen in the last 2 games. And I hope to God, I've read some posters on TWTD saying that in a way could be as injurious to our season as the chaos that went on over the summer. The fact that we've lost these few games to pick up some points for Lambert to work with the team sooner. So in hindsight, we know it was an aberration. We know what the Swansea manager Potter sort of got his part wrong, and we managed to wing a neurotic win. Yeah.
Harry, can I just stand up for Evans though, because we're speaking with hindsight now, and if I buy an unreliable car, say an Alfa Romeo, and it breaks down a couple of times, and then I have a really good run in it, I want to believe that I've got a nice car, and I think he just wanted to, but after the Swansea, he wanted to believe that Hurst was going to work, and then obviously that was the worst week. There's a 3-game week, wasn't it? And 2-0 to QPR, 2-0 at Leeds, 3-0. At Millwall.
Are you saying he's stuck with a permanent oil leak?
No, but he's got a bloody nice Volvo now.
Reliable.
Dave, Ian McIntyre, do you think the key in the last 2 games has been Roberts going off?
Well, the key to us not winning the last 2 games?
I would assume that's what he means.
Yeah, I think that had some bearing on it because the shape of the side changes somewhat. I think yesterday, and this I may again be preempting things here, but I think yesterday we expended so much energy in the first half, with the press and the dynamism we showed in the first half. But like I said, we just didn't land that knockout blow. I think that had a lot to do with it yesterday. A lot of the players were just done, unfortunately.
Can I lob into that one other thing? Strength and depth. Look at the 3 substitutes that Reading were able to bring on.
Harry, their bench would have walked into our most. Players they didn't bring on. Aluko was on the bench, I think. It was ridiculous.
But guys, now if you assume that Lambert's taken all of our spending from the summer out of the team, other than Edwards, you've taken a team that finished 12th place, taken all the best players out, and literally, I got very upset with people saying, no, they haven't replaced Daryl Murphy. Well, if you take out those players, literally no replacements now. So, yes, I totally concur with that. Harry, at Jack Barham, do you think these performances need to start being transformed into victories as soon as possible?
Oh, if only. There's 2 schools of thought. Well, there's a spectrum of opinion, I think, with Ipswich fans. Some who are confident there's 30 odd games, whatever it is, left to play. It's not even. Is it around that now? It's around 30. Is it 30? I think, or
29.
Is it 29? 29. Yeah, 29. Loads of points still up for grabs. But I'm kind of in the more apprehensive school, which is that we've got to mitigate the damage between now and the end of December, and we need twice as many chances to get the same number of goals because of our lack of firepower. If I can put, and that the first half yesterday bore that out. I think if we'd had decent front players, we would have been 4-1 up at halftime. We all agree with that. That's a simple analysis yesterday. However, as a consequence of that, where are the wins going to come from? That's I'm very nervous.
And the issue is, Harry, I think perhaps a bigger issue is all these teams around us have taken points off us already.
Yeah.
We do still have most of them at home, though.
No, that's a good point.
I know we haven't won any home games, but
2 in a year. But that's a good point.
Nick Maynard, in light of some of McCarthy's early results, I remain very upbeat. I think there's a 6-0 and a 5-0 in his first 4 games, wasn't there?
Yeah, but we were winning the other games, not drawing.
Yeah, I can't argue with that point, Dave. The question is, how many points do we realistically need for survival? If I can take this one, guys, like you've mentioned, there's a collection of teams. Bolton now, as expected, have dropped into them.
Yeah.
Look out for Wigan as well.
Yeah.
They are dropping like an absolute stone. I said 48 possibly. The division's not good, so I think it's going to be hard. And 48, I think will keep you safe. So that is, and we've got 11.
11. So another.
But I'm going to go on to this, guys. When we do the extrapolation, I think the key number to look at any point now is the gap between Ipswich and 21st, because everyone's bimbling on about results. If we win 3-0 away at Middlesbrough, but everybody else wins, that's a bad result. If we draw 0-0 at home to Rotherham and everyone else loses, then the gap closes by a point.
Yeah, it's small. You've got to look.
It's going to be
small steps. Yeah, small steps. Yeah.
You've got to look at that. Although the whole world will say, "Oh, if we'd have beaten Rotherham, would have been." Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Ben Frost. If we can get Bishop and Hughes fit, do you see them as regulars? Who's answering the weekly Hughes question?
Oh my God. Well, yeah. I mean, look, out of the two, I think Hughes. I mean, Bishop almost may have been. Don't shoot me down. Perhaps the way he played yesterday, slightly usurped by Flynn Downs. I was very impressed with Downs.
Good,
yesterday.
Dave.
I thought he was excellent yesterday. I think Hughes
he suits Lambert, Dave, right down to the ground. Downs.
Yeah. I think Emir Hughes, a fit and firing Emir Hughes, that box to box player, is someone that we haven't got. Will it happen? I don't know. Apparently he's back in full training, so I understand. Is he? Will he figure during the well, I guess the next step is another under-23 game for him, is he? I really don't know. But from what I understand, he's back in training. So is Bishop. But, yeah, I think Bishop's been slightly perhaps overtaken by Downs, albeit you'd think Bishop is technically slightly better.
Doesn't matter now, does it?
No, it doesn't.
But the thing I have to lob in here is that you can tell Lambert trusts Downs. Downs is reliable. And not just in terms of fitness, but in terms of his contribution during the game. You know what you're getting from him.
Hashtag run through brick walls for me. That you'll hear Lambert say that a million times. You'll hear him say two things. Yeah. They gave me everything, and they run through brick walls for me. He's been saying that for 10 years, and Downs will.
I don't think Hurst trusted him, did he? And he didn't trust. I don't think it was a two-way thing.
No.
Whenever he came, whenever I saw him play. Play. And what I like about Lambert, I've got to say, is the body language. There was a couple of times there passes went astray, but he would be there on the, giving it all that for the, the intent of the pass or something like that, where, the players just weren't getting that.
Whoever asked on the last show, and I hadn't been to the game, so does it make a difference? Yes, it does make a difference, that stuff going on.
You saw it yesterday.
I've seen it yesterday now. Yeah, and I think it unsettled Clement as well, to be honest.
I know you're probably right.
Clement's right. This is Jules. Hey, Jules. Harry, Jules. Will Lambert bring in? He's talking about fullbacks. Do we need fullbacks?
I think. Oh, sorry, Harry.
No, go for it, Dave.
I think we've already said. I think our priority is a striker, isn't it?
A strike. Yeah, I'd say a striker and then another striker myself. Actually,
Given
that, seriously, you're only as good as. You're only as good as.
Looking at Maite yesterday, do you reckon Toto and Ciala can finish?
Rich unkindly compared Maite to Frank Noble, given based on what the Reading players were saying about him, that he was industrious and
not after that finishing yesterday. God,
not after that finishing yesterday.
Got two weeks running.
I think he's a. My sense with him in the bigger picture is he's an athletic, competent striker who suddenly hit a run of form. I think that would be.
I'm not sure he's that technically great with first touch and stuff. I agree. Yeah.
Dave, neither was Sean Goater. 200 goals later, mate.
Oh, I just saw they were showing them. It was a derby today, wasn't it? And I taped a bit. I had to, because there's some great goals in it. It's a bit of a half-hour segment on Sky Sports this morning of Manchester derby goals, and they showed one. But it's a ridiculous touch by a volleyed pass by Berkovic that plays him in. But just the go to finish. It was his 100th goal for Man City. It's ridiculous.
And Harry,
one with Van der Sar just lifts it over.
I think it would be a good time to mention Pippo Inzaghi, who apparently was a pub player outside the box, but Pele inside the box.
Inside the box.
Yeah, Lineker. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Adam Flat. This is not a question, but Susan, whose surname I've forgotten, the author. What's Susan's? Gardner. Thank you.
Gardner. Yeah.
At Susan 1878 has got a thread of ITFC players who were killed during the First World War. So
wow.
At Susan 1878, she's a great historian and writer.
There Harry.
Are we going to pull out a Frank Sue book?
No, where's
Frank
it gone
Sue,
now?
what's he reaching for? Hang on.
What's he going for?
Very
I'm going to ask you a
Frank
question
Bell,
while he's doing that, Dave.
Go on.
There we go.
Susan Gardner, Ipswich Town history. There you go.
Really, with the best introductory history of the club you'll ever read. Really good.
Book. Yeah,
superb read. There we go.
Yeah. At Susan 1878, there we go. This is Adam, who was not working for the BBC in Reading yesterday, as he often is. Seeing as Paul Lambert has named the same 11 in both matches so far, how much do you think that says about what he makes of the current squad?
I think it's a positive thing. I mean, not only was the same start, it was the same bench as well, wasn't it? I believe exactly the same yesterday. Yeah, only sees that as a positive thing. I think. What I understood, Nolan's injured, isn't he? I think Nolan's got a dead leg. So they're saying Nolan got a really bad dead leg in training, so that's why he hasn't been in the squad. Apparently, Enciala has just sort of gone AWOL. He's just sort of disappeared.
From what I can see of Lambert's psychology, I bet what he said is, right, guys, this is what I'm going to do for the first 5 games, but look, you've all got a role to play here. I'm going to put in the guys with the most appearances, the most tenure, just to ride this out, and I bet he'll say you're all going to get a chance to get in, but give me a few games, see what we're going to do, and I would suspect that would be the thinking. Yeah. Right, let's rattle on. At Dimi Zanakis, a pleasure to meet you, Harry. Yesterday, I feel that Roberts is doing a great job. Do you think the return of Harrison, with him being more of a natural in that position, will be the difference? Converting these chances to goals, Harry, he does look pretty much the ideal skill set to go into that role, doesn't he?
Just to say on that front, that was the gentleman who bought me my lunch yesterday. That pie I did not have to pay a penny for that. Brilliant, really. It was a gentle thank you, and I'm sure if you'd been around, you'd have had pies as well. But that's just got to be in a position of maximum opportunity, and it was a lovely pie.
All right, Charles Hughes.
All right, Charles. Homo. Right, Homo.
No, he's absolutely spot on. I think, we talked about this earlier. I think he is, if anybody can slot in, he could be the player to do it, whether, even initially as a bench option, and then take it from there. And if he is a more natural finisher, given the way Bristol Rovers fans described him, I think you could see how he would fit in. He's one of these players, he clatters into players. He's also, one of his specialities, which we have simply never seen, is the fact that he does run from deep. He'll give him a 10-yard charge on a defender, and he'll take the ball to the defender and anything else in the neighbourhood out. The other thing Bristol Rovers fans said about him, and this I have to keep reminding people this, he was a slow developer. He didn't come in and hit the ground. He didn't blitz when he landed at Bristol Rovers. It took him about a half a season before they realised, actually, we've got something really good here. So I'm not suggesting it'll take him that long, but there is still there is something there, definitely.
Plus, to add to that, our only previous up until last week, our only previous sight of Roberts had been off the bench. I think away at Derby when he came on, and he was really good, wasn't he? If you remember when he came? So if you hopefully Roberts will, if that is the case, and Harrison comes in, does well, as we say, fits the bill. With Roberts as a bench option is not a bad thing.
And just quick elephant in the room. The only player more perfect than Harrison would have been John Walters, wouldn't it? But there you go. That ship has sailed.
It could be, finally, quick last line on this. It could well be that you bring in whoever this new striker is in January. Please God, it'll be somebody good and mythical. And you have both of these as options to throw in the game. So, you can either bring one or the other or both on as necessary, just to rough up, if you need to ball and chain on the back line. Sorry. Yeah.
Dave, this is Sam James. Can you see any space for Ward to get back into the squad?
In the squad, well, yeah, of course. In the squad, in the team, not at the moment, but
Dave, no, in that system, I mean, he could only do the
again,
front right position, couldn't he?
In the squad, I would have certainly thought so. Yeah.
This is Tim, who we had lunch with. Ben, what did the town fans sound like in the expensive seats yesterday? I'm not pleading the fifth. That stadium has appalling acoustic qualities. You could have put all of Millwall, Leeds, and Portsmouth in that end, and you're still not gonna.
So if you were offered a gig there, Ben, crap acoustics. I'm not having it.
No, I'm just saying the sound. The sound disappears. One word answer, Harry. Who's having the better season, Chambers or Pennington?
Oh God, Pennington.
Dave.
Oh yeah, he's class. He's a class player.
This is Muller. Are points or positivity more valuable in this opening month under Lambert?
Points.
Okay. Harry Butcher. How much of a blow is it not picking up 6 points from these two games?
It is a blow. It is. We'll see. West Brom. They seem to be hot and cold. We'll probably talk about Bristol when we go through the roundup, but there's a crisis going on there at the moment as well, looking at the games coming forward. But a win out of these two, psychologically and mathematically, would have been
4 points.
Useful.
Yeah, 4 points would have been.
Yeah.
Where's Corley Woodrow gone?
Oh, was he Burton?
Oh,
was he not at Burton last season?
And do QPR still play Matt Smith? I'm just thinking of tall strikers. That's all I've been doing for the last 30 seconds.
I'm sure he doesn't start for QPR.
No, he's an out bench option.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Corley Woodrow was at Burton last season. I'm pretty sure he was. But...
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry guys. This is James. It's not a question, but he says he was dead against Lambert being appointed, but he had his mind changed yesterday, which is good. Right. Thank you, everybody, for all the questions there. Vital part of the show. If we missed yours out, I think I did all of them. What I will say is I'm going to have a word with David Diamond after this pod, and we may well do a mailbag show next week if I can.
Mailbag show.
If I can secure the services of Mr. Diamond.
I'm sure you probably can next Sunday. Yeah, I'm sure.
The last one was only an hour and a half long, so there we go. Let's go to the roundup where the league leaders are Norwich City, who had a bonkers 4-3 win. Something in the air there. Everything is going right.
We had a little chat. We had a little chat before we started recording tonight, and I didn't really know whether to laugh or cry when I heard that result. But I suppose, happier more than anything because, there was a real shitstorm of results for us again with about 5 minutes to go in all these games. I think all at some point in time, Hull were up. We'll get on to
Dave,
Hull.
Just keep an eye on the gap, Dave. It's still 5 points.
No, I know it is.
Keep an eye on that gap.
Yeah, but you're right. Incredible game by the look of it. I mean, what a game for God's sake.
Harry
missed their third penalty in consecutive games.
Oh, and the fourth of the season. Games. Really? Consecutive games? No way.
Yeah.
That's do you remember when Martin Palermo? That's a good name there, Harry.
Wow.
Missed 3 in one game.
For whom?
Argentina or Boca or
right, yeah.
Somewhere.
It's bloody Boca River Plate on now. Come on, hurry up.
Right now?
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe not right now, but it's certainly this evening. Yeah, maybe
the
not
Super
right
Classico.
Libertadores, Copa what it's called.
It's the final.
Harry, Borough 2, Wigan 0. Do you agree with me that there's still a sense of underachievement here with Borough, despite they've only lost 2 games and they're second?
Wigan had 58% possession, 1 shot on target. It's hell. It really is. Hugo, 38 minutes penalty, 44 minutes second goal, and you might as well go home.
There is
God.
I know it's commemorative. It's the end of World War One. I mean, there's like a trench in front of Borough's goal, isn't it? with a Lewis gun set up. A Lewis gun set up on the edge of the 6-yard box. They conceded 8 goals all season, for Christ's sake. Unbelievable.
I
agree with you though, Ben. I do agree with you though.
That said, it was the first win since mid-October, if I'm not mistaken.
But they don't lose though.
No, they don't.
And I think this season of all seasons, that's going to be enough. Can I just quickly weigh in? I'd meant to say this on, sorry, Dave, on Remembrance Gate, going back to Millwall. I have now taken part in 4 Remembrance minute silences. And in all bar one of them, which was yesterday, the same thing happened, i.e. the last post finishes and polite English people start applauding. There was only in Royal Berkshire yesterday, and probably the Ipswich fans with the knowledge of what happened at Millwall. So right. I love all the Remembrance Day stuff, but crowd control rule number 1, make your instructions so clear and so obvious, even to the point of, and I know I'm rambling, this is not important, but blow the referee's whistle after the last post finishes to start the minute silence, and then blow it again at the end. Crowds will do the wrong thing unless you instruct them very, very clearly. I work in a behaviour school and I do know all about this. Anyway, sorry, quick little rant on that. But that was the best one I've been in. It happened at Aston Villa and it happened at Sheffield United as well. They all went wrong the same way. And if you want a good remembrance minute silence, that's what they need to do. Where are we going? West Brom 4, Leeds 1, just lining up to play Ipswich. Dave, am I the only person who finds it really funny whenever Leeds are on Sky? They do that Sky TV, fucking shite, Sky TV, for like 20 minutes. It's so childish, but it gets me. No. I was listening on the way back. I just found it hilarious.
It doesn't help when they're 3-0 down, does it, I suppose? They've got to sing about something. At least they stop saying champions of Poxy Europe, which they never have been, but there you go. Yeah.
West Brom are back.
Quick note on that. I had a quick look on their forum. I had more information when we did the previous show. They seem to have switched to a 4-3-3.
Okay.
They had, it seems they were playing it. I think they were playing with wing backs beforehand, but they've moved
Matt Phillips was one of them.
And but with the three up front, Robson, Kanu, Rodriguez, and Barnes going across, and Morrison in midfield as one of the three. Phillips. Just to say that, and it seems to given them a better shape. And they said only go to fullbacks when you're chasing a game. What a way to end a bad run. Just to say, further information will come, but that was the early flash that I got from there. But the other mad thing, of course, which we know, West Brom 4, Leeds 1. Earlier in the season, Leeds 4, Derby 1. Sorry, Frank Lampard's Derby. And then also Frank Lampard's Derby 4, West Brom 1. So there's a triangulation of 3-4-1 wins, evening out over the 3 games.
Sorry, did you see the possession in this game? Did you note the possession, the West Brom Leeds game?
No.
What do you reckon Leeds' possession was?
58.
West Brom at home. Go on.
58?
72.
No.
72.
Really?
So, I've got off the BBC.
In that case, if that was the case, Calvin Phillips will have made over 100 passes then.
72.
I bet you. Wow.
Yeah, 72 possession of the ball. Incredible.
Wow. Incredible. And they lost 4-1. There you go.
Sure.
Definitely not 9/10 of the law, is it? Hey. Right, moving on. I'll do this one because I was there. Sheffield United 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Attack versus defence. It could have been McCarthy in the Sheffield Wednesday dugout. And obviously, McGoldrick watch. It was peak McGoldrick. Swaggering, back heels, missed penalty.
Lovely. Yeah, missed pen. Lovely stuff.
Lovely stuff. And Chris Wilder. Chris Wilder he's like Joe Garner, isn't he? If he's on your team, you love him, but if he's not, you just detest him. He was proper leaving the boot in there afterwards. So you'd quite like it if he was your manager.
Yeah.
Derby 0, Villa 3. I cannot explain that in the slightest. Harry?
Bonkers, really. I mean, Villa are going to come. Yeah, they are going to come good at some point, and maybe they've just got the right. They found the right man at last.
Couple of Derby comments. Villa waited for us to run out of steam and then took us to the cleaners. I love Frank Lampard's style of football, but he needs more muscle in the team, was the comment they made. The 3 late goals. I think it was a bit like rope-a-dope. It sounds like they let them burn themselves out. Also, interestingly, Tom Lawrence there was a pattern of criticism against him. He seems to be playing primarily for himself was the kind of the pattern.
He's done that his whole career, Harry.
He missed the gaping chance at 0-0. I know that.
He can come to Ipswich and play for himself. I'll tell you that.
No, I know. I'm just putting it out there.
They're so spoiled, Harry. They're so spoiled. Those blooming Derby fans.
Blooming heck.
Give me my Weghorn back, dear oh me.
Absolutely.
Forest 0, Stoke 0, Karanka versus Rowett. No,
exactly.
No. Bolton 0, Swansea 1, and Harry, Bonney and Montero both back now for Swansea. How are you fancying that? James down the left, McBurney in behind. Bonnie up front.
I think
I see that going well.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was it's interesting. The third winger, Barry Mackay, I think he was the one who came on against us, wasn't he? He scored the winner for them, if I'm not mistaken.
It was an absolute thronker.
Yeah.
Dave, I look at Bolton and I see a team following their manager's instructions quite well and still losing.
I've got a Bolton stat. It's the first time in their 144 years history that they've lost 4 consecutive home games without scoring a goal.
Ouch, good stat.
After the 0-0, John Warwick was interviewed, and he said that Bolton, even though at the time they were mid-table, he thought they had relegation written all over them, and they're one of the teams you're thinking, if we can get fourth bottom, you know, ignore all the results. Just keep an eye, as you were saying earlier, about Bolton are one of those teams you've got to have in the crosshairs.
Yeah, right.
They've won 3 of their first 4 games. They're still trading off that, Dave.
Well, does it not mirror us to some degree last season? A little bit.
Yeah.
All right, we didn't quite have the slide of that magnitude, but where would we have been without those first 5 games? Was it 4? 4?
Blackburn won. Rotherham won. Rotherham still performing well, but they're still in the crosshairs.
Another stat: Bradley Dack has been involved. He's played 15 games
in 101% of Blackburn's goals,
whether a goal or assist. A game, unbelievable season.
What a player!
Yeah, Blackburn had 20.
They might find they're tested in January. Do you think?
Absolutely. QPR 3, Brentford 2. I mean, Brentford are as rotten as Wigan and Bolton are at the moment, but they will probably in 3 weeks win 8 and draw 1 of their next 9 games.
You know, his new manager. I think they won once, lost 4 under the new manager. I mean, who knows? You know,
it always does with.
Mopai scored, but he went off with
concussion,
not a head injury, a delayed concussion by the look of it. Nasty one.
Is away form an issue for Brentford? I think they're getting all their points at home.
They've got 17 points. They've got 21 points and got 17 at home.
Is that the case? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They don't travel well.
Birmingham 3, Hull 3, bonkers. Some really crap championship goals in this one. But then Grzycki did smash a goal kicking. Dave, Jukovic and Adams have got 17 goals between them.
I know.
I like Birmingham. Let's move on. Let's get Harry on Lee Johnson. Bristol City 0. Preston 1. Wind him up. Go.
They are emotional. You know, we had Guinevere, and Joe brought Guinevere into the equation. Guinevere is now sitting in the West Country, according to Bristol City fans.
Okay,
driving them nuts. Lottery. Vyman, they've moved him out to the wide. They had a really good partnership with Vyman and Matty Taylor in the centre, working off each other. Taylor, in a way, is a better striker than Reid, whereas Reid would just play off the front man. Taylor he's geometric. He brings in the wide players as well. But him and Vyman had a really good understanding. So what did he do? He sticks Vyman out on the wing. This happened last year with Bristol. They had 6 players who all offered different things, but he wasn't able in attack, and he just wasn't able to perm them up right. And he's doing exactly the same thing now. And they are going on one of their streaks. They really are one of their losing streaks.
I think the difference last year, they had Bobby Reid, didn't they? He was scoring for fun, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he's a better finisher, but Taylor, what they found with Taylor was that a lot of the other players were scoring because Taylor was facilitating a lot of it. I think that's from what they were, the feedback they're getting from
Joe Bryan as well.
Yeah, who they've lost. Yeah, they are going mad. And Callum Robinson got the goal for Preston. He stole in. They put them under real pressure with the way Preston can. Then they push them so deep that Robinson was left unmarked on one side of the 6-yard box.
He's a very good player. He was their best player against.
Dave,
put Gallagher to one side. He was their best player last week.
Dave, talking about Preston and this draw we got last week, Preston have got 2 points per game the last 6 games.
Yeah.
You know, they're not. They're
great. They really weren't great last week.
Well, they're in good form. I mean, that says a lot about. Says a lot about this league. And do you know what I say? I say good luck to bloody Norwich and Sheffield United. While all these big spenders are stinking it out up there, because if you, as we always say, set plays right, settled team, strong philosophy. Looks like we normally say top half, but this year that's top 6, isn't it?
Yeah, seems like it.
All of those things. Right, extrapolate. Ipswich are bottom of the table, 11 points from 17 games, but we've already mentioned it. My figure is the 5-point gap between us and 21st. And also, there is a collection of teams now sat there on 16 points, and Preston are gone now, but we possibly think Millwall might swap with Wigan, but there are plenty of bad teams to gun at there.
There are.
And 5 points is 5 points. And also, I know we haven't played Wigan yet, have we? We've got Wigan to play twice. But we've still got Rotherham to come here. We've still got Hull to come here. Bolton have been, haven't they? Wigan to come here. Millwall to come here. They've all got to come here. And what I will say about Lambert's style of football, I know you were saying, guys, where do the points come from? I don't care who you're playing. If you play that tactic against anybody, okay, you might get hammered, one time out of 10. But it doesn't matter if it's West Brom or it's Rotherham. So it'd probably work better against West Brom than it would against Rotherham, wouldn't it?
Harry, what was the before when you did the preview pod? What was the general Reading attitude towards the game? That was it they were going to turn up and win yesterday?
They were very confident. They were beforehand, and they walked into an ambush in the first half, no question. Yeah. Both the supporters and none of them took cognizance of what Lambert had done in the Preston game. Absolutely, yeah. Don't kid. I think listen to Radio Berkshire yesterday. Had they not got that equaliser, I think Clement was gone.
Wow.
Yeah,
that was general consensus.
It was.
Yeah. Let's just finish this extrapolation. Top goals: Edwards 4 now after yesterday. Sears 2. Sears in good nick with a couple of assists and playing well as well. Chalobah also on 2. Top assists: Sears 2, Ward 2, and as Dave mentioned, 6 players on 1 assist, including Bialkowski now.
That is an assist. You watch
unbelievable scenes.
Yeah.
Top minutes: Chambers, Knudsen, Skews, Chalobah, Edwards. Right, Two Little Ducks was standout entertainment.
Going, Harry, you're on your own, son. Come on.
If Dave gets overwhelmed by sort of an overwhelming sense of famine, am I allowed to give Rich a ring and call him in? Because I was worried. We nearly lost Dave the last time. I was worried then. I was worried. He was fading.
I think what it was. I think the pod had already run in like an hour and 3/4, and you were starting to be forensic here. And I nearly threw in John Walk, didn't I, to kill it off?
So
don't forget, I've still got John Walk up my sleeve if it gets go on.
Okay. Well, funny you should mention Mr. Walk.
Yeah, right. Oh. He's going nowhere near. This is going nowhere near that.
He's gone historical.
Because we're going to talk about one of the visitors to Playford Road this week, boys.
Go on.
So John Walk, George Burley, and Terry Butcher visited Playford Road this week. Terry Butcher,
I'm getting me pad out for this one.
Described by Sir Bobby Robson as the best player he had for England. But his last competitive England game, we're going to the 4th of July, 1990. England won, West Germany won, World Cup semi-final. You didn't expect that one, did you?
Mate, love it. Go on.
4th of July 1990. Okay. So you have a little think here. Let me just explain the rules. Dave and Harry, between them, are going to try and name as many of the starters, the 22 starters that played on the 4th of July 1990, England v West Germany. Funnily enough, one of them has already had a mention in this pod, which is incredibly fortuitous. And if you look back on the video, you'll see me grin a little bit.
I see. Yeah.
In a used substitute will not consider you out. And we're going to give you a golden goose each. So where are we? Turin?
Yeah.
Harry? Deli Alpi?
Yeah, Deli Alpi. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Who's going first?
Peter Shilton.
Peter Shilton, 1.
Well, let's go through the penalty takers. Stuart Pearce.
Stuart Pearce.
Harry, you've got all this. Paul Parker.
Sure. Yeah, that was for the free kick.
Paul Parker, 3.
Oh God, Lineker, obviously. Yeah.
4.
Paul Gascoigne.
Oh, breaks my heart. 5.
Okay. Well, Chrissy Waddle.
Yep. 6.
Waddle's in there as well.
Guys, what was the Ipswich link?
Terry Butcher.
Terry Butcher, 7.
Well. God, I wasn't expecting it. I'm racking my brains.
I love World Cup night.
Well, hang on.
I reckon I can get 20.
I'm going to jump across. Klinsmann,
8.
Mark Wright.
9. Were you still playing for Oxford then, Dave?
Mateus.
No.
Lothar Matthäus, who mentioned him earlier? Someone mentioned him earlier.
Cole Skews. Yesterday, first half.
10. Very good, boys. No Golden Gooses played yet.
I'm trying to think who Gascoigne took out. Argenthaler.
Klaus Argenthaler, 11.
Wow, that's impressive.
Johnson Clues.
Right.
Go on. No, keep going.
Frank Rijkaard's best mate.
Yeah. And his name, and I see him, and his name escapes me. As is the guy who scored from the.
Voller! Rudy Voller! Rudy Voller!
Yes.
Voller. Oh, totally brilliant. Yes, that's it.
Oh, I did give you a big clue.
I'm playing
Harry.
a Golden Goose because he might have been a substitute. Olaf Tom.
Olaf Tom's a great shout. 13. 3 Inter players, remember, in the West German team?
Oh, God.
We've named 2 of them. A very funnily footed fullback. Played right back, was left footed though.
Yeah, I know. His name escapes me. Scored a World Cup.
Scored the winner in the final.
Scored the winner in the final with a penalty, and his name's
Bremer. Andries Bremer, 14.
Yeah, Andries Bremer. How many England players are we missing, Harry?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 3. And I've
got Stuart Pearce in there.
Yeah,
You've
Pearce is in there.
that.
We've got Pearce, Butcher, and Wright. Parker, Gascoigne, Waddle, and Lineker.
Come on, who did Gary Lineker love playing up front with?
Yeah, Peter Beardsley.
There we go.
Beardsley,
15.
of course, yes. Thank you.
So have we got one more England player to get?
2.
Come on, Harry, with your Italian knowledge, you should get this other England player.
It's not Ince, is it?
No.
No, it's not Ince. No, he was later.
And the other player.
Hang on.
Can I have a shout?
I've now got Carlton Palmer in my head. Get out.
Go.
No, it's the other one. His mate. It's Carlton's mate.
It's Platt.
David Platt, good, 16. And the other England player came up in the David John.
You'll never beat him, will it?
You will never beat him.
Des Walker.
Des Walker, 17.
Have we got all the England players?
You've got all the England players, and
right,
let me give you a used sub. Trevor Stephen came in for Terry Butcher on 70 minutes. Right, you've got a few Germans to play.
Okay, let's.
German goalie played for Real Madrid.
Oh, he's gone. Not Kopka. No, he was 96.
I was thinking Kopka as well. It's not him.
No, it's not.
No.
And I know him. And
Great Dortmund centre half.
It's not Bodo Wilkner, is it?
Bodo Wilkner, good.
Bodo Wilkner, yeah. Bodo Wilkner, yeah.
So what's that, 18?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God.
German penalties. Ruthless, weren't they?
Great Dortmund centre back, not the ginger one.
Yeah, I know. This gone. I think I've gone with Germany now. I won't name.
Hang on, was Samler there? Because he was
not the German one, not the ginger one. Sorry.
No, not Matthew Salmon. No, he was 96. He was later, wasn't he?
No. Oh God. I'm struggling now.
You have done absolutely brilliantly. Shall I put you out of your misery?
Go for it.
Wait, hang on.
Hang on. No.
Oh, actually, little box-to-box midfielder, one in 96 as well.
Yeah, no.
Not Muller. No, not that.
No,
same first name. No, sorry, not the same first name.
Andreas.
No, sorry, not the same first name. I got that wrong. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
That's who?
If his name was Thomas, he'd have the same first name.
Müller. Andreas Müller.
No, don't worry. Right, look. Let me put you out of your misery. So England, you got all this: Shilton, Pearce, Walker, Butcher, Waddle, Beardsley, Lineker, Parker, Wright, Platt, Gascoigne. The West Germans: Ilner, Bremer, Jürgen Kohler.
Yes.
Augenthaler, Buchwald.
Odo Buchwald, yeah.
Thomas Hassler was the other one.
Hassler.
Rudy Voller, Lothar Matthäus, Thomas Berthold, Jürgen Klinsmann, Olaf Thurn. Just some of the names on this bench. Kopka, Hermann, Andy Muller was there. Karl-Heinz Riedler came on. Would later play for Liverpool. Pierre Littbarski, who I think would have been there in '86, wouldn't he?
Pierre Littbarski played for Cologne in '81 in the semi-final.
Listen to this England bench.
That's brilliant.
Gary Stevens, Neil Webb, Brian Robson, John Barnes, Chris Woods, Tony DeRigo, Steve McMahon, Steve Hodge, Trevor Steedman, Steve Bull, Dave Besant.
Wow.
Unbelievable scenes.
Chaps, mate. I enjoyed that. Yeah, cool.
It's been emotional. No game to preview, but Dave, you already have in the can recorded last week this week in ITFC history. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
And that's got a foreign flavour to it. No, a slight spoiler. That has a European game and a European game against an Italian side in it. Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Interesting. So, Dave, we think that you'll be back with me possibly for a mailbag show next week. Harry, you are going to be back for the West Brom preview, which I believe I'm hosting. Is that right? Is Rich sunning himself there?
Yep.
Indisposed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get very excited when it comes to West Brom. So there you go. They go the download figures straight away.
They've just scored the 37 goals in their 17 games.
There we go. Lovely stuff.
But conceded 25, I think.
Dave, where can we find you on Twitter?
At David Diamond 3.
And Harry?
At Harry from Bath.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. We're going into the international break now. So, like I say, there will be some content, but we kind of make it up as we go along. Definitely this week in ITFC history because we already recorded it. Probably a mailbag show. Then maybe another this week in ITFC history, hopefully. And then the preview show. And then all systems go, guys. 9 games from November the 23rd to January the 1st, which will take us up to 26.
Just out of interest, what's your game target, you personally, between then and January the 1st?
That's interesting. That's very interesting. So
you're telling me you're going to see the Birmingham derby, aren't you?
Yeah. So I'll be at West Brom,
that'll be fun.
Ipswich. I'll be at Villa Blues.
That's on the Sunday, is it?
I'll be at
Saturday.
Brentford, Sheffield United, Bristol City, Ipswich, and then who we got the weekend? Forest.
First, yeah.
And I tell you what, they've moved the West Midlands derby. Derby Forest is on December 17th now, so I shall look forward to that one as well. I do like a little trip to Derby. There we go. But no, I'm on 25 games so far. So
what were you last year, Russell Osman? Did you do
Russell Osman -1?
Yeah,
65.
The Osman challenge. Yeah.
The Osman challenge. Yeah, but the thing is, guys, on playoff week, you can do like 5 in 5 days, can't you? Semi-final, couple of days off, semi-final, final.
Yeah.
Bosh. There we go. Love it. Harry, did you plug your Twitter?
Yeah, I did. Yep, at Harry from Bath. Yep.
There you go. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh,
right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Follow everyone on Twitter.
Cheers, chaps.
Follow the whole team. And we'll see you back in a couple of weeks. Goodbye.
Better back to Stewart. Oh, he turns to defend discreetly. Round the goalkeeper. And scores a magnificent